Okay, sorry about the noise in the background. I might shut that down a little bit. Hold on 1 second, because it's getting nice and warm in here, so I'll close it down a second. There we go. Go down to about, I think it's about 16 degrees. Okay, so we're going to go back to the diesel heater that I was playing with before. This is the one we're going to try and get going when all the other parts come. We were short of the rubber seal. That is now here. And we're going to fit that, and then I'm going to fit it to the turret, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to fit the exhaust and the fuel line and the induction pipe, the air pipe, whatever you want to call it, filter pipe. There we go. This is not for professionals. This is just for people like myself who are just DIYists who'd like to have a go. And if anybody's a little bit unsure, I thought, well, if I put my penny's worth in, at least I'm helping. So you need the gasket, I think, anyway, because it seals the whole unit from the turret and stops any gases. So to fit that, you've got to make sure that the diesel hole, which is here, is lined up with it. That's common sense, I know, but I'm just saying. Oh, plus I did fit 4 new studs just in case they were damaged or anything. I got loads of spare, so I just fitted 4 new studs, but they'll come with your original, probably already in it. So what we're doing is just lining this up, get it over the diesel, get it over the pipes, the exhaust, and with, I would say, 99% of all diesel heaters, the exhaust is the furthest port away from your fuel line, which is common sense. So this now fits beautifully around the base of the diesel heater, and then this will cause a seal on the turret. Now the thing is, now once the turret's on, you're going to have trouble connecting these up, because you can't connect them. You can't put the exhaust on first on the exhaust port, for the simple reason is how you're going to get the Jubilee clip. It won't go over, so we've got to fit everything afterwards. So that's where I'll show you in a minute. Let's get this done. Right. So we're going to fit the turret. Okay, common sense. Line up. You know, you can see the hole where the diesel is. Might have to be a bit higher. Let's have a look, see if I can see it. There we go. Right, you can see in there perfectly okay. Alright, so now we need the 4 nuts to screw them down. So the nuts I'm using usually have a little bit of a flange on them, which then that can lock onto the turret. So I'm going to fit all them. Okay, so once you've got all 4 bolts on, nuts on, whatever you want to call them, I'm using this, which I bought from Amazon. I bought a set of these from Amazon. If I remember, I'll put a link in the description down below. Pretty straightforward, just like tighten them up with my fingers first, piece of cake, and then what you want to do before you fully lock it down, just make sure that your gasket is fully sealed around the unit. Okay, you can see that if I can put a bit of light on that. There, so it's got to just go all the way around, make sure it's nicely sealed. Perfect. And then we'll tighten them down. All I'm going to do is just put a little screwdriver in the end of that. If I can find one that fits, here we go. And then just I'm doing them diagonally as well to make sure it's even. Okay. So you need a long reach, because you'll see that you can't get a standard socket on that. You'll need a long reach socket, or a deep socket, whatever you want to call it. Okay. And there we go. So next job, I'm going to fit the fuel line. Now for this I'm using not the green stuff. They reckon it's a bit, and it does corrode after a while. They reckon, I do not know, but I've always used the white, quite hardcore flexi stuff, which I find is, I wouldn't say it's better, but it is better. It's stronger and it's less prone to being damaged. So that's why I use that. And the rubber hose as well. Now these are fitted with some really, really good Jubilee clips. We call them Jubilee clips in the UK. Other people call them something else. And I always get so much stick from other people saying that. These are 7mm. So you're going to have to arm yourself with a small 7mm spanner. Otherwise you're not going to achieve the job. Now I do this so I know I'm going to get to it quite easily. So I'm going to fit it so that, if you can see that, Zoom in, there we go. It's fitted so I can get to it quite comfortably. Okay. And there we go, fully home. And then you can use the open end or this ring just to get it tightened up, and then I'll finish off with the ring. Bring you back in a sec. Okay, so we're not far off, so I'll just put the ring spanner on just to finish it off. Don't go mad, you don't want to break anything, just enough. You can feel it, it'll cinch up quite nicely, and you're like, well, that's tight enough. That's it. Okay, so but remember, you've got to pull the Jubilee clip away slightly, this way, or whatever you want to do it, so it doesn't jam up the hole for the induction pipe to go on. Okay, you can do that next if you want. Now I'm using, I'll show you these. These are slightly more expensive than your standard Jubilee clip that comes with the item. For the simple reason they are a good strong fit, and these will actually do the job brilliantly. So now we're going to fit, you see that, all right? These, I'll put a link in the description down below for these. You can get multiple sizes. These say 88 on them, whatever that means. Oh, hold on, so we can get that closer. What does that say? You see that? Hold on. There we go. 25 to 27 W2s, but I'll put a link in the description down below for them. Alright. Okay, so next, for the induction one, which is just the air breather pipe coming in and such, which have a filter on the end, I'm just going to use a standard Jubilee clip because there's no pressure behind it, there's no heat, so and it's just a bit more easier to fit. So I'm just going to push him down over, and then we're going to spanner him up, and you can see it gets a little bit tight in there. Okay, we can move it around a little bit. So it's easier to get to, and I'm going to use, there we go, a 7mm spanner again. You can see a little bit tricky to get to, but it's going to take me a while because I'm going to have to turn this back. Now you can buy ratchet spanners this small as well, so you can just put it on and that's how you go. Do you like the impression? Right, so I'll catch you back in a bit. There you go. So I've tightened it up as best I could, and then I used the ring end of the spanner and that's enough. That's enough. There's enough tension on that. Next, we're going for is the exhaust. Okay, so now focus. Here we go. So I'm putting the exhaust on, and I've put the Jubilee clip away from the rest, so I know I can get to it. So it's not so busy. Because if you look, they're all here, and I want to get to it quite easily there. So I'm just going to use the open end spanner to twist it around. I'm going to order some ring spanners, they're called ratchet spanners, and you can get them as small as 6mm. So I'm just going to tighten this up. Now I'm going to get this so tight on this exhaust because I don't want any gases, and that's the idea of the turret, because if there is any gas leaks, the turret will take the gases outside the vehicle. No gases will come inside the vehicle. This is the idea on why I'm doing this. Like I said, I'm not doing it for professionals, I'm just doing it as a DIYist, and just to show you how I did mine. I've had no trouble with mine whatsoever in my van at all. I've got no smells or anything. So I'll come back to you in a sec when I've tightened this up fully. It's very shiny down there, doesn't it? Turn it, and it'll start gripping, and I want this absolutely with no gaps. Well, I say it might be a small gap, but I want it pretty tight around the exhaust tube. I've got one in my garage. You can probably hear it in the background going. I've had that in now 5 years in the garage. I've not had an issue with it, and I just plumb it through the wall. The exhaust goes through the wall and everything else is inside, and yeah, I think I've actually placed the pump on it and the heater plug, and that's all I've done. Right, I'll get back to you in a sec. These, I'm going to say jubilee clips, that's what we call them, are so good because you can just, and you can feel them, they really are robust. So I'm not far off now. So I'm going to have a go at twisting this exhaust off when I finish, okay? Oops. I tell you what, that's a lot of pressure on that clip. Right, so I'm going to grab this. You can see my hand in the reflection. I think I've turned it a fraction. I'm going to give it another. Oh yeah. Right, that's not going anywhere, and hopefully no gases. I'm not worried about the gases anyway, like I've told you, because it's in a turret, but I'm making sure I'm 100%. So there we go. Looking pretty good, actually. I'm really chuffed with it. Like I said in the video before, I've got a test bed, so this will be going in the test bed, and we'll do all the tests. We'll have carbon dioxide tests. We'll have 2 carbon dioxide testers on it as well. The exhaust, of course, will be outside. The induction pipe will have a filter on it, and then fuel line will be connected up to a fuel tank. So we'll definitely, if you're interested, please subscribe, like, and share if you wish. If you don't, it's fine. All the videos I do come to you free. So if you could subscribe, that would be lovely, or just like would be fantastic as well. All right, we will definitely see you in the next one. Take care, and I hope you enjoyed this one. All the best.